Sorry?
What's your favourite soup? Is it still miso?
Miso soup.
Good. Right, go on.
Hi, this is Wouter from Snow Sports Kaprun, and I am here with.
Andy from Snow Camps Europe.
And today, Andy, we're talking about, because there's a lot of online hassle going on about the Epic Pass.
Epic Pass. Big news. Epic
Yes.
news.
Epic.
What's the epic news?
Kaprun, Zell am See, Saalbach, Hinterglemm, and Leogang, so the ski resort where we are in, is a partner ski resort of the Epic Pass. So one of the Vail Resort lift pass.
So have Vail bought Kaprun
Yes.
and Zell am See and Saalbach?
Yes. No, they have not. Of course not. It's just a partner lift pass. So it means, hey, you can ski here if you buy the season pass 5 days if you are coming from the US.
Yeah.
But Andy, what is actually the Epic Pass?
That's a
Because
very good question.
We're going a little bit too far ahead.
We are. It's a very good question. And as Wouter says, just to clear up, Vail have not bought Kaprun or the Kitzsteinhorn or Zell am See or Saalbach. This is only related to the lift pass, the Epic Pass, which is owned by Vail Resorts. And this is like a multi-resort pass that covers everywhere that Vail own, plus partner resorts. That they have partner resorts in Japan, they have partner resorts in Switzerland, in Italy, the Salaronda being on there, and now they've got 4 partner resorts in Austria. They already had the Alberg.
Yeah, so they already had St. Anton, Lech, and Zuurs.
Yeah, and now they've just added Solden, this area, Meyerhofen, Hintertux, and Montafon. So 3 glacier areas are now covered, or 3 Austrian glacier areas are now covered on this pass. And this pass, basically, if you buy like the top end all-encompassing pass, gives you unlimited skiing in a certain number of resorts in America, and then certain number of days in other resorts like in Canada, Japan, as we've said. So if I am an American, I don't have to be American, but let's say I'm based in America and I live in the area of Denver, let's say. If I buy an Epic Pass, I can ski lots of different resorts within a 2 or 3 hour from my house, let's say. And if I want to come to Europe during the winter, I could come and ski here for 5 days on that pass.
I think it's fantastic because, especially when you're from the US and you come here, you don't want to come here just for a week. You rather want to come here for 2 weeks if you have the time. You can do 5 days here, you can go 5 days to Aalberg, you can do 5 days in Montafon, Silvretta.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Or you could do your 5 days in Kaprun and then drive over to the Salaronda and do your 5 days.
I think it is fantastic news. It is really good. And I think also the other way around. So if you buy a lift pass and you want to go to the US and travel around there. So let's say you are based in Denver, you go on holiday in Denver or somewhere. It's a bit like here with the Salzburger Super Ski card.
Yeah.
You're based, let's say, in Kaprun or in Taxenbach or whatever. You're hop between resorts. It's the same in America. You do 5 days there, 5 days. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I really think it's really, really good.
I think, and we've already made a podcast in the past about why so many Americans are coming to not just this area, but to Europe in general to ski. And we listed some of the benefits in that podcast, and I'll link it above. But they've now, if they're an Epic Pass holder, they've now got so many more reasons to come to Europe. And the fact is, they're not going to have to buy a lift pass. And a lift pass would normally cost, let's say next year's lift pass is going to be about 450 to 500 euros for the week, let's say. We don't yet know. Ballpark, let's say. They're going to save because they've invested in their Epic Pass. And if you invest in the Epic Pass in the pre-sale, which actually ends on the 26th of May.
Which is today.
Is it today as we're recording this?
Today.
If you'd bought it before today, it's about $1,000 for everything. And then there are other benefits.
Deal. It's about 900 euros.
Yeah.
It's a good deal.
And a lift pass here for next season, the Alpine card, which will cover the same area, although give you full access every day, is going to be $840 in the pre-sale and about $1,005 after the pre-sale. So this Epic Pass that covers all of these different resorts If you buy it at the right time, does seem to be value for money. I think the downside, and this is where people on Facebook groups are getting a little bit irate, is when Vail have bought resorts, and I'll use Perisher in Australia as an example, the lift pass price, the lodgings, the ski school, the prices have gone through the roof.
Well, yeah, I know, but people should calm down a little bit because no one's bought here the resort. It's partner ski, and I think that is really, really great. I mean, we've got a lot to say about Vail, whatever, this, that, but I think it's a fantastic. It's a fantastic opportunity.
What benefits are there going to be? And we'll focus just on Kaprun, but then you can extrapolate that out to everywhere that's listed, or the new paid places that are listed. What is the benefit going to be for Kaprun of being included for these 5 days on the Epic Pass?
Oh, as I said, like Americans can come here. You know, you've got a bit of a variety of guests, and you get a little bit more, you know, spreading the word how fantastic this resort is, because it is still a bit underrated, comparing it to Saalbach, you know, and I think you've got much more. You've got really fantastic opportunities here, also backcountry. So I think that is one of the main benefits. The benefit is as well as it works the other way around. We can go to America and I can go 5 days there, 5 days there.
Yeah,
it's fantastic value for money.
So going back to you're saying it'll attract more people into resort, so that in turn is going to have a knock-on effect in the number of hotel rooms sold.
I don't think more. I think a bit more of a variety. We will see a little bit more American guests, which are very, very good guests. You know, they're welcome guests, and it spreads a little bit more the resort, you know, worldwide. I think that is really for here.
So it puts us on the map. Puts us on the map.
It puts us on the map. Much more, and I think it was a very good choice and of the resort to do that, to work together.
And I think going back to the podcast we've made about the Americans coming to this area, we noticed that unlike some other nationalities, the Americans will eat out in the restaurants. They will go to après ski. They will spend money on ski school and private ski school.
Pleasant guests.
Yeah.
So everyone, sorry to interrupt you, everyone who's whinging about it online should maybe do a little bit of research before always straight away, you know, assume something without actually looking into it or know the actual facts. Yeah, because they are pleasant guests. Americans are, you know, they're really fantastic guests to have.
I've got 17 booked in at Christmas already. This was before the Epic Pass announcement, and I've just actually emailed them today and said, "Do you have Epic Passes? Because if you do, we can correct your bill because you no longer need lift passes." Which again, for them, there's a group of 17 of them. They were here 2 years ago as well.
And again, it's really good value for money here in Europe, you know, compared to the US. I think it's good. It's really good.
Cool. So,
and as you said, they are going out for dinner.
Yeah.
They are going to après ski. You know, they are willing to, you know, spend some money on good food. You know, as long as the food is good.
And I think
it keeps the quality.
Even though ski school isn't cheap, our ski school prices, especially for private lessons, are a lot less than if they were skiing in a Vail resort. And again, my group of 17, they're all having private ski teachers for the time they're here. You know, because it's so much cheaper than if they did it in America. And now for them, it's become even cheaper if they've got an Epic Pass, which is great.
Yeah.
I have one guess.
Because we were just talking one way, the Americans, but it's also, you have to keep them, it's also for here, it's fantastic. You can even go to Italy for 5 days, or you want to go to Japan. You know, I buy the Epic Pass, I can go to Japan, I can go to 5 days to Rusutsu. Okay, Rusutsu is not on the mainland, you know, it's on the island, so you have to then but the internal flights cost nothing really. And then you do 5 days in Hakuba. It's fantastic. You see 2 different resorts, and if you want to next to Hakuba, you can go to Nosawa Onsen or whatever, you know, and do there 5 days. But it saves quite a lot of money on the lift bus price. And you see something, you know, it's good. You broaden a little bit more your horizon as well with skiing. It's fantastic.
So Rob, who I think you know, he's an Australian. He comes over to Europe for about 3 months every winter, but he skis in Perisher. So he has an Epic Pass for Perisher. And then when he comes over here, he always goes and skis in Italy for a week. He comes here and skis for at least a week. sometimes more, which he's had to buy a pass for, and then he's always gone to the Arlberg as well. Where now, when he comes over, he can still go to Italy for his week, he can still go to the Arlberg, but now he doesn't have to buy his lift pass when he's here. So his trip that he does every year has just become better value for money. And I wouldn't be surprised if, with the other areas that have now been listed, if Rob doesn't also say, right, I'm going to go Meyerhof and Intertux, or I'm going to go Solden, because he's not skied those areas, and he now can.
I don't like Hintertux.
I've never been Hintertux. Mannhofen.
And I don't like
Mannhofen.
Solden.
Never been Solden.
Sorry.
I've not got the money to go to
Probably
these places.
Going to get quite a lot of crap online, but yeah, I don't care. And also, I don't care about these people posting online.
So we hopefully, I think I'm okay in saying this, we hopefully will actually get somebody from the Kitzsteinhorn to come on and talk about this in future episodes and answer any questions that we haven't been able to answer. Is that correct?
I think yes.
And we might be able to get a little bit more into the background of how this is working.
I'm on it, so it's gonna be continued.
Because there's probably going to be lots more comments and questions raised from this. I was answering an email this morning because someone had emailed me about it. And there is a lot of buzz, and as we said, a lot of misinformation. One of your favourite words. Because people do think that we now are owned by Vail.
Which we are.
We are Vail's bitches.
Yes. If Vail, the CEO of Vail, sees this, and you want to,
if you want to brand our uniforms, invest into a rolling carpet, maybe.
Yes,
from the Maiskogel. We're open to offers, Mr. Vail. Who is Mr. Vail? His name must be on the website.
Yeah.
He's got to be, Annie. There you go, folks.
We are not owned, or I'm saying we. I mean,
they are.
The Verbund,
them over there.
Kitzsteinhorn, Saalbach, and Zell am See. No, they are not owned by Vail.
Okay, good.
Far from it. I think it's a fantastic cooperation.
I think there are many benefits.
It's a very smart move.
There are many benefits. The only thing I will say is there's been a couple of comments about Chamonix, where I think is also included, where the locals have now seen it as a bit of a negative because of the number of Americans that are there. And I had a guest in the Arlberg in January, and he was like, Jesus, what's with all the Americans?
But it's not only the Americans in the Arlberg, and the same with Chamonix. It's famous. Everyone goes to these famous resorts, which is not always the best resorts. They're far from it. But, it is, oh my God, let's go to Arlberg because, it's so fantastic. It's overrun, but it's since years. It's overrun. It's difficult to find, like, fresh snow. It's this stress, this powder stress every time it snows. It's like, okay, it's a fantastic resort in a way but it's overrun. It is too much. It's not only the Americans and the Chamonix either. The French anyways, they don't like any foreign people really. So it is, but it is, it's because it's famous. It's the same as Kitzbühel. Everyone knows Kitzbühel. Yeah, let's go to Kitzbühel because that's what I know. That's fantastic.
I would rather swap the Americans for the Dutch. I would rather have the Americans than the Dutch.
You need to stop this because all kind of thing. But I have to agree with you. If any Dutch people watch this, I don't know what's going on lately. We're talking about it. Like, they're getting tighter and tighter, the Dutch people.
Yeah.
You're on holiday, chill out.
Yeah.
Tip your ski instructor and tip the restaurants.
Yeah.
A tip is not included in the bill,
Stop loading your car up with Dutch food and bringing it to Austria. Go to the supermarkets and buy.
No, but I think but it's really important. As it's really important. This is any kind of business. If you solely concentrate on one form of nationality, at some point, something goes wrong. You've left with nothing really. You, as a result, you need your resort. You need to, have multiple nationalities, and it's also much nicer for the resort. It's much nicer when you go on holiday. If I go on holiday to Westendorf, which I walk in a restaurant and they don't know me, to start speaking Dutch to me, and I'm like, what the hell? Because there's only Dutch people.
Yeah.
If that falls away as a resort,
then you're empty.
You're empty.
Yeah.
So you need to be really, really careful.
And I think the Americans, if you think about the overall effect on the economy, they've pretty much they've got to fly here if they're coming from the States. They've got to fly. They're most likely going to hire a car, so that puts more money in. That car's got to be fueled. when they get here, obviously, accommodation, food. They're not going to be like the Dutch. They can't fill the car with food and drink and bring it with them, like a lot of the other countries that surround us do. So when the Czechs come, the Poles, the Slovenians, Slovakians, they do bring their cars and they do load their cars up with food if they're doing self-catering, where the Americans haven't got that ability. So they will spend, on average, more per head than some of these other guests spend.
Yeah, okay. But look, of course. But, it's always about, yeah, okay. Yeah.
But overall spend, like we know with the Arabs who visit here in the summer, they spend 3 to 4 times per head more than any other nationality, because they hire the car, they put petrol in the car, they do eat out for literally every meal, and the Americans to an extent will be similar.
Yeah, okay. Let's not go into that. But yeah, it is definitely true.
But what I'm saying is that the lift pass, the inclusion on the lift pass, will have so many other positive effects on the economy for the villages and the country, than more Americans skiing.
But that's always got pros and cons. The pros, of course, tourism, booms with it, flourishes with it. But then, for the locals, it's always good to have so much mass. You can always, the environment.
Exactly, the plane is having an effect on the environment.
Okay, but
the
I think
car is having an effect on the environment.
Anyways, the ski resorts, which really are, let's face it, the live off tourism. It's good. Yeah. It's good. It brings more variety.
And I think
puts this location on the map.
Even more so on the map. Yeah. But I think also, if there are any people in America who are watching who have an Epic Pass, what you also need to remember is we open in the middle of October. We're going to be open from the middle of October, so you can ski part of October, you can ski November, you can ski before December, before it gets busy. So pretty quiet slopes. We run a lot of camps in November and the beginning of December. And then also at the end of the season, when the American resorts have started to close, then we are also open. This year was quite early, the 18th of May. So you can top and tail your American season with a visit to Kaprun, and you're guaranteed snow at the beginning of the season. And we always have, look at it. What is it, 26th of May, and it's snowed for the last 10 days, hasn't it? It's like winter outside. Yeah. That's why you should have super menu.
Yeah. It's always open beginning of October, second weekend of October, and until the middle of May. Yeah. And the end of the season is fantastic, I think, just after Easter.
Yeah. It's not does it mean you have to come in the main season when you can already ski in America? You can come before and after. Yeah.
Correct.
Cool. Anything else on the Epic Pass?
No, I think it's good value for money. I really do think it's good value for money. I mean, the day passes in America, because that's what online is. Yeah, the price is going up for. It's not here, anyways. Here it's not sustainable. But but I agree. That the day pass in the US is very expensive. But if you look at it for a season pass, it's actually relatively cheap. So I think it's really good.
Yeah. Cool. There you go, folks. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the Epic Pass, what you think about the inclusion of Kaprun, Saalbach, Hinterglemm, Logang, Fieberbroden, Zell am See on the Epic Pass. And if you still believe that Vail have bought Kaprun, then also let us know in the comments, because it will do the algorithm the world of good to have all of those comments written.
You need to change your cap and your
Bye
shirt.
For now.
It should stay Snow Sports Kaprun.
Snow Camps Vail in Europe.
Right,
look out for Vail branding coming very, very soon. Bye for now, everybody.
See ya.